Welcome back to another episode of War in Cali. In this episode, I'ma detail Broadway Gangster Crip rapper G Perico. G Perico will be born Jeremy Nash in 1988 and grew up in South Central LA. Growing up in the 90s and the 2000s, LA will be full of violence and a lot of gangbanging going on. G Perico will grow up in an area claimed by the Broadway Gangster Crips. The Broadway Gangster Crips are a gang in South Central and have been around since the 1970s. The Broadways consist of two different cliques, 5 Deuce and 11 Deuce Broadway, which G Perico would later claim the 11 Deuce Broadways with him growing up in that area. G Perico would join the Broadway Gangster Crips around the age of 12 or 13. After his cousin got put on, it influenced G Perico to do the same thing months later, with him wanting the same love his cousin was getting in his hood, with his cousin becoming known and getting embraced by the older guys from that area. Like many young men growing up in the hood, G Perico seeked brotherhood and wanted to be just like the older guys he was looking up to seeing every day. But this lifestyle would set G Perico up for a life of crime and gangbanging. In his early years, he would be carrying guns and committing crimes by the age of 13, which landed him in juvenile hall for a gun charge at 13, and even in the same year landed him in camp. Going in and out of jail would make G Perico a full-time criminal and not care about anything.
I guess it might be that.
Yeah, I mean, did prison, do anything for that? Like, being in prison.
Intro, going to jail, juvenile halls and all that shit. The worst of the worst. I thought I was great, but really I wasn't successful at all. I kept going to jail, kept losing. And the last time I was in the pen, I don't know what it was. I just looked around and I'm like, damn.
After doing several small bids, G Perico would start selling drugs and start being about his money, and was fully dedicated to his hood and the streets. This led to more jail time and street activity, and losing several homies to death and prison. Being an active member came with a lot, and G Perico will be on police radars as being one of the most active members and moneymakers at 11 Deuce Broadways, and that eventually caught up to him.
And I run through I'm like, I'm finna jump out the back window. So I go run, I try to wake the homie up, he sleep. So I go run to the room, and I slide the window, and I see helmets around the back too. Next thing you know, they get to banging on the door. But we got one of them doors like you can't bust in, so they blamming on the door. Boom, 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 boom. LAPD, woo, woo. Trapped, you know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, they can't get in the door. Next thing you know, the windows bust. The window in my room bust, and the window in the front in the living room bust. They start shooting bombs. Boom, boom, boom. And they took me to jail barefoot.
G Perico would dive harder in the streets every time he was released from jail, but being raided changed his life. Being in and out of prison and having his first kid, he knew he had to come home and he had to make a change. This would make him start rapping behind bars, and he already had the name G Perico from getting it from selling drugs. Upon getting out, G Perico would start his rap career, but he still had dealings in the streets. His first tape he ever dropped was called The Enterprise, which he had 18 songs on the tape. 2014, 72 members of the Broadways would be arrested in an indictment that lasted 3 years and had over 1,300 officers involved, taking down most of the gang. G Perico was only out 7 months and was not indicted. He lost a lot of friends from jail time, and even one of his best friends started snitching. In 2015, he would drop another tape called Enterprise 2, which had 15 songs on the tape. After grinding with music, G Perico's music would start to gain attention, and around the same time, he would open up a shop in his hood and a clothing brand called So Way Out. This eventually led to him owning a boxing gym, to which later led to him owning the whole building.
Store for just an outlet for me to pretty much stay out of trouble, you know what I'm saying? Like, in order for me to stay out of trouble and also take advantage of my entrepreneurial spirit around here, I started this store, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so we got the So Way Out design. You know, it's clean, sleek, classic, you know what I mean? I got this from my boy, Sharon Barber. I told him that I needed a design.
Being in his hood and owning his business there, this would later lead to him getting shot in his own hood.
I seen at one point you ended up getting shot.
Yeah. I got actually on the side of that building, on the side of that same building right there.
Oh, that's where it happened at?
Yeah, but tried to get me, man. I'm happy that, it's a good thing they wasn't no killers though. Cause if they was, they had me boxed in, you know what I'm saying?
Can you take me through it?
Basically I was getting ready for a show the next night at the Roxy, and locked me in on a block next to
Cause when I come through, bro, like I don't like if it's cars coming, I don't park. Like if I feel like somebody trailing me, I hit a few corners first. You know what I'm saying? That's why I never been like shot or hit up. You know what I mean?
Did it take you a long time to recover?
Nah, hell nah.
Yeah.
I was on my feet. I did a show that same night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Change how you moved? Change how you move around?
I already moved like, you know what I'm saying? I already moved paranoid, so, I mean, you know, that's just it. You know.
With G Perico's music gaining attention and him being consistent dropping 3 tapes from 2016 to 2017, like Don't Stop, All Blue, and To The Left, he started gaining cosigns and got the attention of other LA rappers, some being rappers like Nipsey Hussle, who by this time was an LA star and was blowing up all around the world. They would build a relationship, and even though their gangs traditionally didn't get along, Nipsey being a neighborhood Crip and G Perico being a gangster Crip, both men wouldn't let that affect him and supported each other, and this was a big deal for G Perico. He learned a lot from Nipsey. With the Soul Way Out brand G Perico started, he would decide to part ways from the brand and start a new brand called a Blue T-shirt that sold shirts with typically red lettering. Around the same time, G Perico would be introduced to Roc Nation and signed the Roc Nation deal, which was supposed to be a big move for his career, but with the person who signed him to a deal being fired, the Roc Nation situation didn't work out, and he went back independent and dropped newer music through Empire.
You know, with music, like, before I signed with Roc Nation, I was getting $100,000 a project. You know what I'm saying? That's all in, like, marketing and whatever. When I left, bro, I got $30,000 for the 21 flood, bro. Now it's like, I don't even want to say what I get now. But it's like, it's more than I ever got, like, a few times over for per project. So, like, it's like, I'm in a 7-figure club, bro. Like, right now, off of, like, stepping away, like, instead of just going crazy, blaming this man for that and that man for that work, bro. And even if we not seeing eye to eye, we family, so at one point, we'll probably figure it out. But I'm not finna stop my mission, bro. And I'm saying, if you wanna win, get with Perico's Enterprise.
In the following years, G Perico focused a lot more on his business endeavors, from clothing brands to his boxing gym and several other shops that he owned, and also being a part of a water brand and learning how to market and become successful in a lot of other things. 2023, G Perico dropped 2 other tapes, one being called 7 Figures Later, and he also dropped a tape with DJ Drama. G Perico came a long way from the streets to a businessman and is still doing more to be successful and make money in all avenues. This will conclude this episode. If you haven't already, make sure you check out my previous episodes. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.